Hola, and welcome back to La Paz Bound. We have our temporary residency stickers in our passports. So what are the next steps in this journey to moving to Mexico? Well, we need to go to Mexico and finalize the process. So this entails going to the I&M office and exchanging the sticker in our passports for the temporary residency card, which will be valid for a year and we're told can be renewed for another 3 years. When are we going? Well, we're looking to go in March. Our stickers, they expire in June, and we'd like to get this process completed as soon as we can. We're going to make a week of it, and we're going to take that vacation that Hurricane Milton robbed us of back in October. I've already put in the request at work for the time off, and I've called our doggy daycare place to take care of Pico for the week. I've also mailed our marriage certificate off to the Department of State in Tallahassee this morning. And according to the Florida Department of State, where I was waiting on hold for about 10 minutes and being number 86 in the queue, not sure how they got through everyone so quickly, but according to the nice gentleman that I spoke with on the phone on Monday, and verbiage from their website, getting our marriage certificate apostilled essentially lets Mexico know that the documents that we're providing are authentic. And because our marriage certificate is certified, it's a certified copy with a notary stamp, I can skip the part of obtaining a notarized copy from the Florida Bureau of Vital Statistics. That's part one. And I can jump to the second part of the process, which is to download and complete the form from the Florida Department of State, Division of Corporations, and send them a check, yes, a check, or money order for $10 per copy. Because we like to keep 2 copies of everything, I sent in 2 certified marriage certificates, and they're notarized. And then I also sent them the check for $20, $10 per copy. The postage for flat rate envelopes and tracking at the post office was another $21. And the gentleman on the phone said that there's about a 2.5-week backlog. So I'm hoping we get everything back by the end of January, maybe the beginning of February. He assured me that we would. However, he did advise me to send the documents via UPS, where they can be tracked. So yesterday I went to UPS on my lunch break to get both the envelope that I'm sending to the state and the return envelope, because you have to provide the state with a self-addressed stamped return envelope so they can send back the 2 apostilled certificates along with the marriage certificates I sent to them. And I waited in line, 20-minute line, only to be told that UPS doesn't provide shipping labels with tracking numbers for PO boxes, which is where I'm sending our marriage certificates. They're going to Tallahassee, to a PO box. I am telling you, nothing has been easy about this whole process, not even in our home country. And maybe it's not meant to be easy. Maybe this is supposed to be difficult so that everyone doesn't flock to other countries. And as an aside, my husband and I, we were this close the other night to just chucking it all out the window and pursuing an RV life within the United States. We were really having a hard time with this entire process. And then we got an email. And it's funny how the universe works that way sometimes. It was an email from a facilitator in Cancun that I had reached out to the day before. I've reached out to 2 facilitators, one in La Paz and one in Cancun. The one in La Paz, something was just not quite sitting well with us with that facilitator. And tons of people have used that facilitator, but we weren't getting the warm and fuzzies from that person. Whereas the facilitator in Cancun, extremely helpful and less expensive. And full disclosure here, I'm purposely not naming the facilitators because we purchased the Mexico relocation guide. And I'll link it below. But I'm not sponsored, I'm not compensated in any way on this channel or with the guide. The guide was $500 and it really provides some helpful and useful information to a number of trusted contacts in Mexico, among other things. So naming the facilitators is actually a violation of the agreement that we signed when we purchased the guide. So I can't divulge who we're using. But the facilitator in Cancun was so warm and friendly to us, and we went back and forth in emails on a Saturday, no less. The facilitator told me about getting our marriage certificate apostilled and what to Google to find the right department and website. The facilitator also told me that when we have the documents, to send a PDF of the files so that the facilitator can then hand them over to a certified translator in Mexico to get them translated in Spanish. The facilitator also told us that even though every consulate has their own rules, Cancun requires a utility bill when we go to the immigration office, and that some consulates even do an inspection of the address that you list on your paperwork. Seeing that we don't have a place in Mexico yet, the facilitator will take care of the address part for us. And when you do get to Mexico and you find a place to rent or buy, you then have 90 days to change your address from the one that you stated on the paperwork to the one that you are currently occupying. The facilitator also mentioned that there could be unforeseen problems at the INM that could hold us up from getting our temporary residency cards, which 99% of the time this can be issued on the same day. Things like power outages, printers being down, and software not working, but this is rare. We also talked about the facilitators fees and the government fees for temporary residency. The facilitator's fee is 6,000 pesos per person, which at the time of this video is roughly $295 per person. And the government fees for the temporary residency, that's 5,570 pesos per person. And that's approximately $274 per person. So we're looking at around $1,138 total, US dollars total for the both of us to get our temporary residency card with the help of a facilitator. That breaks down to about $569 per person. You could totally do this on your own. If you feel confident in your Spanish, you could probably do this for under $300 per person. We had to pay the consulate in Orlando $53 each back in December to process the paperwork to get the first part of the temporary residency done. And that's for the sticker and our passport. So, needless to say, we feel incredibly confident with this facilitator who only needs 3 weeks notice to get our appointments lined up. And we figure that we'll stay in the Hotel Zona Hotela, which is very touristy. It's a hotel zone, but we're using this time for vacation as well. So why did I reach out to a facilitator in Cancun? Cancun is only a 2-hour direct flight from Tampa. It's an easy shot to get there. And since it's really touristy, we could get our visas, fingers crossed, turned around in a day. And like I mentioned before, we didn't get to go on our cruise in October as planned when we were supposed to visit Cancun and Cozumel. So we figured we'd go there to complete our canje. So that's where we're at right now in the process. Check out my other videos if you'd like to see how we've gotten to this point so far. There's still a lot more to come, and I will take you along in March and update you on how things are progressing. I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give me a like and subscribe so that my channel can grow and I can help others looking to make a move to Mexico. Hasta luego, amigos.